Okay, welcome back to this next video, and in this video I want to look at ways of creating dynamic strings. We've just looked at the structure of strings, but now I want to tell you guys or show you guys how to create dynamic strings. And there are several ways in Rust how we can create dynamic strings. Let's just see how quickly. So we can create a string like S1 equaling to a string. Yes, this is a good one. String scope from. Okay. We also can use string scope. We can use new as a way of creating a string. In from, I think we will need quotes. There we are creating an empty string, and then we can create another string S3 equaling to the famous toString method we've looked at. So another way we can create a string. So we are creating empty dynamic strings, and these are ways to achieve that. So S4 could be empty string dot to underscore owned. Okay. Then lastly, we can use the not so common, but still it's another way, the format macro exclamation, just like the print macro. So these are the ways that at least we can create empty dynamic strings or dynamic strings in Rust, and we've seen some of them, especially the toString, but even these others can be used. Now, if we are to print to the screen, we always love that. Print ln, and we want to print out something like, okay, maybe I can do that. 1, 2, 3, 4. Are they 4 or they are 5? I think they are 5. Okay. This would be S1, S2, S3, S4, and S5, I think. Yes. So if we try taking away this, this is Rust C. If we call the Rust compiler on create and running that, then calling the created file, we can see we are creating an empty sort of brackets, like, yes. So that's of course what we expect, because whatever we have here is empty. Now we get that print of empty braces, but we want to talk about these functions. The new function here is of the string type is basically a constructor. It is similar to default constructor in C++. So when you analyze the standard library, that's what you will see. And then the from, if we look at the from, that keyword on the string, is like a converter constructor. It is similar to a non-default constructor in C++. Yeah, we refer a lot to C++ because there are many things to look at from C++ perspective to Rust. And I would argue that C++ influenced the creation of Rust because of some of the problems that would happen in C++, that there was need for a new language that is more powerful than C++, but is not problematic when things get messy in C++. So we have looked at the toString, and the toOwned is probably the first time we are looking at it, but they are sort of interchangeable, so to say. Then we have this format macro, and it's identical to the print macro that we've seen before, and the difference is like the print macro results into it puts out the result into the console, like it prints something to the console. But the format macro will return a string object containing a result. So the format macro is just returning a string object. So basically these are the ways. This video would end there, but maybe the one thing that we can add on before we end this video is ways how to convert a like a non-empty static string to dynamic string, but still they are sort of the same. If like you declare a string s to equal to a static string, sorry, to equal to a, maybe a comma, you can put a comma there, and you want to like turn it into a dynamic string, you'll say that maybe s1 equal to maybe the string from s. So already you've converted that into a dynamic string. So those are some of the ways. And if you want to use maybe the one we've seen here, ABS3 is yes s2.toString, and if you're using the toOwned, this is what you'll do, s.toOwned, and the formatter will also do that. That's also okay. So in case you want to print out, let's print out and see what is actually happening here. Okay, and voila. So we've converted a static string to a dynamic string, and that's basically what I wanted to show you guys, that how we can create dynamic strings in Rust. And in our subsequent videos, we'll be seeing these sort of syntactical domain creatures in our subsequent videos and lessons. So thank you guys for watching. See you guys in the next video. Bye bye.